Hello students, I Harsh Rastogi, Assistant Professor in the Department of Pharmacy, Ramesh Institute of Vocational and Technical Education. It is affiliated to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University, Lucknow. As well, I am going to take the lectures of Pharmaceutical Jurisprudence BP 505T. So, we have studied about the Drug and Magic Remedies Act, and then we have studied about the Prevention of Cruelty to Animal Act. So, in that all the acts we have studied, we have came to know that what is pharmaceutical jurisprudence, what is act, what is bill, and what are the different acts and what is the objective of that particular acts. So, now in this lecture we will be discussing about an order that is called Drug Price Control Order. DPCO introduction and different schedules or the sections we will be see in this lecture. So, this is the part 1 of Drug Price Control Order, which will be related to the introduction and which will be related to the schedules of DPCO, which falls under the Drug Price Control Order. So, Drug Price Control Order से ही you could understand कि किस चीज़ के प्राइस के कंट्रोल की बात यहाँ पे हम कर रहे हैं और किस तरीके का ये ऑर्डर है. तो दिस इज़ द ऑर्डर विच हैज़ बीन पास्ड बाय द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, जिससे कि देयर आर डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ फार्मास्यूटिकल organizations which used to sell their medications on the high price. तो to control over that and जिससे कि हम अपने कंट्री के सारे ही इंडिविजुअल्स को, to all the citizens और to all the patients, हम सभी को एक रीज़नेबल रेट पे अपने मेडिकेशंस को प्रोवाइड कर पाएँ, इसलिए गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने ड्रग प्राइस कंट्रोल ऑर्डर को पास किया है. तो इन दिस लेक्चर you will be able to understand about the introduction related to the drug price control order. Then, as usual, as I have told you that any act you will be going to study, you need to understand the basic terms which are involving in that particular act. So, we will be studying here the different definitions which are involved in the drug price control order. Then we will do some detailed study about the DPCO, drug price control order से related हम इसमें study करेंगे, and then how you will calculate and what are the scheduled drug, how you will monitor the scheduled drug, that all the things we will be studying here in this lecture. So, after the completion of all these topics, you will be coming to know about what is drug price control order, what is the objective of drug price control order, what are the different terms which are included in the drug price control order. Then you will be able to calculate about the different prices of the drugs, and you will be able to come to know that how does this MRP set by an organization of the any pharmaceutical product. So, drug price control order in exercise of the powers conferred by section 3 of Essential Commodities Act 1955. Under the Essential Commodities Act 1955, in the section 3rd, in exercise of the powers which are conferred by section 3 of Essential Commodities Act 1955 and 10th section of 1955 and suppressions of Drug Price Control Order 1995, except as respect to the things done or omitted to be done before such suppression, the central government hereby makes the following order, which is called as Drug Price Control Order. So, under the drug price control order, there are short title and commencement. This order may be called as Drug Price Control Order 2013. It shall come into force on the date of its publication in the official gazette, which has been issued by the central government of India. As well, drug price control order is defined as an order which is issued by the government under the Essential Commodities Act 1955, which enables it to fix the prices of some essential bulk drugs and their formulations. There are so many kind of the diseases which are very common, and common diseases were having so much high price of the pharmaceutical products. So, control over that, what happens to provide the medication to all categories of people, the government of India has passed that particular act that is known as Drug Price Control Order. So, Drug Price Control Order क्या है? It is a order which is issued by the government under which act? Under the Essential Commodities Act, which enables to fix the price of some essential bulk drugs and their formulation. So जो भी diseases common है, जो भी हमारे डिजीज़ेस कॉमन हैं और पेशेंट्स हमारे जिस डिजीज़ से ज़्यादा रिलेटेड हैं, तो दैट पर्टिकुलर मेडिकेशन कम्स अंडर द एसेंशियल ड्रग्स. ठीक, तो दैट एसेंशियल ड्रग्स का प्राइस जो है दैट इज़ टू बी फिक्स्ड अंडर द एसेंशियल कमोडिटीज़ एक्ट बाय द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, comes under the drug price control order. So drug price control order क्या है? This order was passed in 2013. It shall come in force on the date of its publication on the official gazette, which has been provided or issued by the central government of India. As well, drug price control order is defined as an order which is issued by the government under the Essential Commodities Act, which enables it to fix the price of some essential bulk drugs and their formulations. So in exercise of the powers which has been conferred under the section 3 of Essential Commodities Act, I am repeating this again because you will be able to understand the section 3 of which act? Essential Commodities Act. So under the section 3 of Essential Commodities Act, drug price control order has been suppressed, or the suppression of DPCO, except as respect to the things which has been done or omitted to be done. Before such suppressions, the central government has passed this act, that is drug price control order, and it shall come into force in the year 2013. Under which act? Under Essential Commodities Act. Then there are some objectives of drug price control order, that why do we need any act? So as in the last lectures we have discussed the objectives of other acts like Drug and Magic Remedies Act के हमने objectives study किए, प्रिवेंशन ऑफ क्रुएलिटी टू एनिमल एक्ट के ऑब्जेक्टिव्स को हमने स्टडी किया. तो लाइक दैट ओनली ड्रग प्राइस कंट्रोल ऑर्डर इज ऑल्सो हैविंग देयर ओन ऑब्जेक्टिव्स, लाइक DPCO इंश्योर्स अवेलेबिलिटी एट रीजनेबल प्राइसेस ऑफ एसेंशियल एंड लाइफ सेविंग मेडिसिन्स ऑफ गुड क्वालिटी. अच्छे क्वालिटी के जो भी मेडिकेशंस हैं जो एसेंशियल हैं उनके प्राइस को रीजनेबल प्राइस पे मेंटेन रखना, ये DPCO की ऑब्जेक्टिव है. तो एसेंशियल ड्रग्स क्या है? ऐसे एसेंशियल ड्रग्स ऐसे ड्रग्स होते हैं जिनको हम लाइफ सेविंग मेडिकेशंस बोल सकते हैं, और एसेंशियल ड्रग्स बोले तो कि जो भी वॉट एवर द पीपल जो भी डिजीज़ कॉमन है, तो कॉमन डिजीज़ के वी आर हैविंग मैनी पेशेंट्स, तो उन सभी पेशेंट्स तक एक रीज़नेबल रेट पे मेडिकेशन पहुंच पाए. इसीलिए इस चीज़ को एश्योर कौन करता है? ड्रग प्राइस कंट्रोल ऑर्डर के अंदर जो भी कमिटीज़ हैं, जो भी लोग हैं, दे यूज टू ensure the availability at reasonable prices of essential and life saving medicines of good quality. Another objective क्या है? Another objective of drug price control order is the promoting the rational use of drugs in the country, as well to encourage cost effective production with economic size, जिससे कि हर तरीके के पेशेंट मेडिकेशन को एक्सेप्ट कर सके, मेडिकेशन को खरीद सकें. तो इस तरह से वी used to encourage the pharmaceutical industries to produce that kind of medications which could be cost effective and which can be taken by every kind of patient. Then another objective क्या है? According to the drug price control order, DPCO used to provide the list of prices controlled drugs. जिन भी ड्रग्स के प्राइसेस को गवर्नमेंट कंट्रोल करता है या गवर्नमेंट उनको मेंटेन करता है, तो दैट काइंड ऑफ लिस्ट with the drugs that is to be issued by the drug price control order. Then to prepare and to maintain the procedure for the fixation of prices of drugs. Drugs के prices को how you will fix, that procedure has been given under the DPCO, or DPCO used to issue the price of the drugs or the DPCO used to fix the prices of the drugs. As well as other objective क्या है? The last objective is to method of implementation of prices fixed by government. गवर्नमेंट के द्वारा जो भी ड्रग्स के प्राइसेस को फिक्स किया गया है उनको इम्प्लीमेंट करना और मार्केट में उसी रेट पे अपने मेडिकेशंस को सेल कराना. दैट इज़ ऑल द ऑब्जेक्टिव्स ऑफ ड्रग प्राइस कंट्रोल ऑर्डर. सो व्हाट इज़ ड्रग प्राइस कंट्रोल ऑर्डर? ड्रग प्राइस कंट्रोल ऑर्डर एक ऐसा ऑर्डर है विच इज़ इशू बाय द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया under the Essential Commodities Act, which enables to fix the price of some essential bulk drugs and their formulation, which are having the objective to encourage the production cost effective with the economic size. As well, they used to provide the procedure for the fixation of price of drugs, as well method of implementation of prices which has been fixed by the government, and another objective is to ensure availability of the good quality drug at the reasonable price. So, these are the different objectives of drug price control order. Then there are some definitions which you need to understand according to the Act. According to the drug price control order, there are some definitions which we will see here, like active pharmaceutical ingredient, brand, ceiling price, dealer, distributor, existing manufacturer, then generic version of medicine, as well national list of essential medication or medicines, non-scheduled formulation, scheduled formulation. तो सबसे पहले द डेफिनेशन ऑफ API. व्हाट इज API? एनी फार्मास्यूटिकल, एनी केमिकल, एनी बायोलॉजिकल और प्लांट प्रोडक्ट which including salts, esters, isomers, analog and derivatives conforming to standards specified in the Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940 and rules thereunder 1945 to 23rd rule of Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940, and which is used as such as an ingredient in any formulation is referred as active pharmaceutical ingredient. Then another definition is brand. What is brand? A name, term, design, symbol, trademark or any other feature that identifies one seller's drug as distinct from those of other seller is called as brand according to the drug price control order. According to the drug price control order, ceiling price is also defined as a price which is fixed by the government for scheduled formulation in accordance with the provision of this drug price control order. Then another is dealer. Who is a dealer? A person carrying on the business of purchase or sale of drugs, whether as a wholesaler or a retailer, and includes his agent, is called as dealer according to the drug price control order. Another is distributor. Distributor कौन होता है? A person who engage in the work of distribution of drugs, as well include an agent or a stockist for stocking drugs for sale of a drug to a dealer is known as distributor. Another definition according to the drug price control order is existing manufacturer. So, who is an existing manufacturer? Existing manufacturer on the date of publication of this order on the official gazette which has been issued by the Government of India is known as existing manufacturer. Then another definitions are like generic version of a medication, national list of essential medicines, non-scheduled formulation as well scheduled formulation. So, generic version of medicine क्या है? According to the drug price control order, generic version of a medicine is a formulation which is sold in pharmaceutical or the pharmacopoeial name or the name of the active pharmaceutical ingredient continued or contained in the formulation without any brand name. ऐसे ड्रग्स जिनके ऊपर कोई भी ब्रांड नेम नहीं लिखा होता है और वो अपने एक्टिव फार्मास्यूटिकल इंग्रेडिएंट के नाम से ही बिकें या अपने एक्टिव फार्मास्यूटिकल इंग्रेडिएंट के नाम से ही उनकी पैकेजिंग होती है और उनको किसी भी कंपनी या किसी भी ब्रांड से रिकॉग्नाइज ना किया जाए, ऐसे ड्रग्स को हम जेनेरिक वर्जन ऑफ मेडिसिन्स बोलते हैं. तो अकॉर्डिंग टू द ड्रग प्राइस कंट्रोल ऑर्डर, जेनेरिक वर्जन ऑफ मेडिसिन इज डिफाइंड एज अ फॉर्मुलेशन which is sold in pharmacopoeial name or on the name of the active pharmaceutical ingredient contained in the formulation without any brand name or without the recognition of any brand name is known as generic version of medicine. Another is national list of essential medicine. National list of essential medicine क्या है? As we have told you earlier that government used to make the list of price controlled drugs. This is the fourth point of the objective of DPCO, that DPCO provide the list of price controlled drugs So what is that list is called? That list is called as National List of Essential Medicines. Okay. The National List of Essential Medicines क्या है? It was published by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare in 2011 as updated or revised from time to time and included in the first schedule of this order by the government through a notification in the official gazette. The National List of Essential Medicine is published by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. तो हेल्थ और वेलफेयर से रिलेटेड जो भी चीज़ें हैं, these all are maintained under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So the National List of Essential Medicines also is be issued or published by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and firstly it was published in 2011, and after some as the time increases it get updated and revised from time to time, which include in the first schedule of drug price control order, which has been given by the government with the notification on the official gazette issued by the central government. Then the definition of non-scheduled formulation. What is non-scheduled formulation? Non-scheduled formulation ऐसे formulations होते हैं which are not included in the schedule 1. There are two schedules, schedule 1 and schedule 2. तो ऐसे formulations which are not included in schedule 1 under the drug price control order is known as non-scheduled formulation. As well, there are some scheduled formulation also. So the definition of scheduled formulation is any formulation included in the first schedule, whether referred to by generic version of generic version or brand name, is known as scheduled formulation. So these are the different definitions which we have studied, like active pharmaceutical ingredient, brand, selling price, dealer, distributor, existing manufacturer, generic version of medicine, National List of Essential Medicine, non-scheduled formulation and scheduled formulation. Then drug price control order in detail. The directions to manufacturer in detail. If we are talking about the drug price control order, so there are some directions which has been given by the government to the manufacturers related to the active pharmaceutical ingredient or the bulk drug or formulations. What are that guidelines or what are that directions? The government may, with a view to achieve adequate availability and to regulate the distribution of drugs in case of emergency or in any kind of circumstances of urgency or emergency, or in case of non-commercial use in public interest, direct any manufacturer of any active pharmaceutical ingredient or bulk drug or formulation to increase the production and to sell such pharmaceutical ingredient or bulk drug to such other manufacturer of formulation, to direct formulation to sell by the formulation to the institution, hospitals or any agency as the case may be. So this is the direction which is needed to be which has been given by the government under DPCO, that if any kind of active pharmaceutical ingredient is getting prepared in any company and it is a case of emergency or urgency, so they can direct deal with the hospitals, institution or related to the formulators agency as the case may be. So with a view to achieve adequate availability and to regulate the distribution of drugs in emergency or urgency, the company can directly contact with the hospitals or the different research institutions or the institutions. Then for the purpose of giving any direction under paragraph 1, what I have told, that is the paragraph 1, that government may, with a view to achieve adequate availability and to regulate the distribution of drugs. This is the para 1. So under para 1, according to that direction, call for such information from manufacturers of active pharmaceutical ingredient or bulk drugs or formulations as it may consider necessary, and such manufacturer shall furnish the required information within such time the government may fix. So this is the information or the directions which has been given by the government to the active pharmaceutical ingredient manufacturers or the formulators. Then another is how you will calculate the price of ceiling price of a scheduled formulation. So, what we have studied about the ceiling price in the last slide. Ceiling price is a price which is fixed by the government for a scheduled formulation in accordance with the provision of this order. So, ceiling price को किस तरह से calculate किया जाएगा? There are step 1, step 2. Step 1, first the average price to retailer of the scheduled formulation, that is PS, shall be calculated as. एवरेज प्राइस को हम PS से डिनोट करते हैं, रिप्रेजेंट करेंगे. तो PS क्या है? इट इज़ द सम ऑफ प्राइस टू रिटेलर ऑफ ऑल द ब्रांड्स एंड जेनेरिक वर्जन ऑफ द मेडिसिन हैविंग मार्केट शेयर more than equal to 1% of the total market turnover on the basis of moving annual turnover of that medicine, which is divided by the total number of such brands and generic version of medicine having market share more than or equal to 1% of total market turnover on the basis of moving annual turnover for that medicine. So, this is the step 1 in which we need to carry out the average price to the retailer. Then in step 2, we need to identify the PC, that is what the ceiling price of the scheduled formulation. तो ceiling price of scheduled formulation को carry out निकालने के लिए, उसको calculate करने के लिए, तो PC will be equals to PS. What was PS? It was the average price to retailer. तो PC क्या है? It is a ceiling price. तो ceiling price we need to calculate, which will be calculated as PS 1 plus M by 100, where PS क्या है? Average price to the retailer for the same strength and same dose of the medicine, which is calculated in step 1 above M. तो M is equals to percent margin retailer and its value 16 by 2. The ceiling price calculated as per sub paragraph 1 and notified by the government shall be applicable to scheduled imported formulations also. For imported formulations also, we need to find out the ceiling price with the help of this step 1 and step 2. Then another is calculation of retail price of a new drug for existing manufacturer of a scheduled formulation. So, the retail price of new drug available in domestic market shall be calculated or provided in sub paragraph 1 of paragraph 4. So, the price of retailer of a new drug not available in domestic market shall be fixed by government on the principles of pharmacoeconomics of the new drug on the recommendation of standing committee of experts formed under paragraph 15. As well, the retail price of such new drug shall be fixed by adding 16% margin to retailer to the price to retailer, which is fixed on each item. So, in this way we can calculate the retail price and ceiling price. As well, how to calculate the maximum retail price. So, margin to retailer, how you will set the margin to retailer? While fixing a ceiling price of a scheduled formulation and retail price of new drug, 16% of price to retailer as a margin to retailer shall be allowed. 16% का margin will be allow any kind of retailer. Then maximum retail price को कैसे set करेंगे? The maximum retail price of scheduled formulation shall be fixed by manufacturer on the basis of ceiling price, which is notified by government plus local taxes wherever applicable as under. So, maximum retail price will be whatever the ceiling price you will obtain from this step 1, that plus local taxes, that will be the maximum retail price of any kind of pharmaceutical product is to be set under drug price control order and has to be furnished by the government. Then the maximum retail price of a new drug shall be fixed by the manufacturer on the basis of retail price determined by the government plus local taxes where applicable as under. The maximum retail price is equal to retail price plus local taxes will be applicable. Then another is monitoring the availability of scheduled formulations. So, the government shall monitor the production and availability of a scheduled formulation and the active pharmaceutical ingredient contained in the scheduled formulation in the manufacturer of scheduled formulation, and the active pharmaceutical ingredient contained in the scheduled formulation shall furnish the information as stated in form 3rd of schedule 2 of this order quarterly. What is this form 3rd of schedule 2? That we will see in the other slides. Then what we have studied in this lecture, first of all we have studied what is DPCO, what is drug price control order. Then we have studied the different definitions which are included in the DPCO. So, what is DPCO? DPCO is defined as an order which is issued by the government under the Essential Commodities Act, which enables it to fix the price of some essential bulk drugs and their formulations. And under this definition only, what are the different objectives of drug price control order? DPCO ensures availability at reasonable price of essential and life-saving medicines of good quality, as well promote the rational use of drug in the country to encourage the cost-effective production with economic size. DPCO provide the list of price of controlled drugs, and it will helps in making the procedures for the fixation of price of drugs, as we have studied about the maximum retail price, ceiling price, as well. DPCO objective is to implement the prices which has been fixed by the government. Then we have studied different definitions like active pharmaceutical ingredient, brand, ceiling price, dealer, distributor, existing manufacturer, generic version of a medicine, means what is a generic medication or generic drug, national list of essential medicine, non-scheduled formulation according to the drug price control order, and scheduled formulation according to the drug price control order we have studied. Then we have saw some of the directions which has been provided by the government. As well, we have studied about the calculation of ceiling price of a scheduled formulation. There are 2 steps in which you are carrying out the PS, that is average price you are calculating. After calculating average price, you are calculating the ceiling price. After calculation of the ceiling price, you are calculating the price for the retail price as well as maximum retail price. We have calculated and we have understood that how to calculate the prices. And at last we have saw how to monitor the availability of a scheduled formulation. These are the references which we have taken. Thank you very much.